All right. So here we are at Gambla. This is also a nature preserve.
Aquí estamos en Gambla, es un parque nacional natural.
Uh, During the times of the Tanakh,
En tiempos del Tanakh,
even during the times of the Brit Hadashah New Testament,
aún en tiempos del Brit Hadashah,
there was a vulture that was here. It was the largest vulture. It's called the Griffon vulture.
había un buitre que era común en esta área. Es un buitre enorme, se le llama el buitre Griffon.
Uh, to give you a perspective, this is the size basically of an American eagle. This is an Egyptian vulture. This is a Griffon vulture. Look at the difference. Look.
Americana, que aquí está representada por un buitre egipcio, pero este es el buitre Griffon. Vean su tamaño.
They're bigger than the California condor.
Son más grandes que los cóndores de California.
Now, in the Tanakh, when it talks about the animals will be gathered, for instance, like for the birds and the beasts, it was understood that this Griffon vulture was the primary vulture that would be involved.
Y el Tanakh nos dice que iban a venir las aves a comer los cuerpos de los cuerpos muertos en las batallas y se habla de este buitre en particular.
They disappeared. They no longer were found in Israel.
El ave desapareció y nunca se volvió a ver en Israel.
For I think well over 1,000 years.
Por alrededor de 1000 años no se veía el buitre.
Critics of the Bible use the lack of these vultures to say the Bible's not true, you see.
Los críticos de la Biblia utilizan esta evidencia para decir, ven, la Biblia no es verdadera. ¿Dónde está ese pájaro que habla y no existe?
I can't give a reason,
No les puedo dar una razón
I don't know that anyone can.
y no creo que alguien pueda.
I'm not sure when they began to return,
No estoy seguro cuándo comenzaron a regresar,
but I think it was somewhere maybe in the late 40s, 1950s. Hanok, you might know.
In that approximate time frame, yeah.
Yeah, they began to return.
como en 1940 regresaron.
They were found like up in the old USSR, far away from here, a long ways from here, and on their own, these birds began to return.
Se encontraron como al sur de lo que era antes la Unión Soviética y poco a poco ellos vinieron solitos y comenzaron a aparearse aquí.
I had a T-shirt. Back when I first came here, there was no paved roads you drove in on. It was gravel.
Hace años no existía el pavimento del cual venimos aquí hace unos minutos.
There was no parking lot.
No había parking lot.
It was just gravel.
Solamente grava.
The place that you buy your coffee and your souvenirs today, that little shack, that was there.
Ese lugar donde compramos souvenirs sí estaba en ese tiempo ahí.
But there weren't any picnic tables.
No había
There wasn't any shelter.
ni ningún techo.
There was a very crude restroom, not the nice facility you have today.
Un baño no tan bonito como el de ahorita.
It wasn't a place that was visited by tourists.
Y de hecho es un lugar que no visitaban los turistas,
It was visited by Israelis.
solo por los israelíes.
And Israelis came here for two prime reasons. One is to see the mount in Gamla and the battle that took place there, but the other,
Venían a ver Gambla
to see these great vultures.
y también a ver los buitres.
Now, the vultures are very systematic.
Son muy sistemáticos.
They are majestic when they fly.
Son
And
majestuosos cuando vuelan.
I showed many of you down, there's a white spot on the cliffs. Used to be, it was much bigger. But the weather, the rain, and so forth has washed much of it off. But they don't just do bird droppings. I don't mean to be coarse in what I'm saying, but I do want to be descriptive. They do not just do their droppings anywhere they're flying, okay? Like a pigeon or something.
Peculiaridad. No defecan donde van volando, donde sea.
But they specifically will all fly to this cliff
Todos
and
llegan a un lugar.
do their business there and then go on. What I'm trying to say is they're very, very organized birds.
Lo que tengo que decir que son muy organizados. Aún para eso van a un lugar juntos a hacerlo.
Over here we have a cage back over here.
Podemos ver una jaula.
And I believe there's possibly one in there. I haven't seen whether it moves or not. But that cage is used to train the Griffon vultures. They have two main problems that is causing a lot of them to die.
Hay causas que por los que han muerto muchos de ellos y los estaban observando en esa jaula.
I got it. One is the electric wires.
Los cables de la electricidad.
With a bird with this wingspan, if you touch two wires, it can be fatal for them.
Con el tamaño de sus alas, si llegaban a tocar dos cables, los mataban.
The birds are very intelligent.
Son muy inteligentes.
So they capture the birds and then they put them in where the wire will give them a little shock. Not enough shock to seriously damage them, but it communicates stay away from these wires.
Y los empezaban a entrenar.
Right.
Los agarraban cuando eran pequeños, los metían en la jaula, ponían cables que tenían electricidad para darles toques muy poco y ellos aprendieran que si se acercaban a esos cables iban a morir.
There's a second problem.
Pero hay otro problema.
The second problem is that there is a great wolf population that is, and predator population that is increasing on the Golan Heights.
Y hay una gran población de animales depredadores aquí que está creciendo en los altos del Golan.
The remedy for the person that has livestock is to take put out poison.
Y los que tienen ganado ponen
So
veneno,
they kill the wolves by poison,
matan a los
but then
con veneno.
the vultures come and eat the
Y
wolves,
luego vienen los buitres y se hacen cargo de los
and
cadáveres
it kills them.
y los también se mueren.
Okay, so they're working on this. One other thing is that during the mating season,
También en el periodo de apareamiento,
the Air Force is not allowed to do what do you call them? Maneuvers
la Fuerza Aérea no
in this
puede
area.
hacer maniobra en esta área.
You'll notice above it has a sign that says it's strictly prohibited to use any kind of musical instruments or amplification means.
Ahí dice, prohibido
That is-
solamente usar música o
That is
amplificación.
not for the humans that are sensitive of ear.
No es por los humanos.
It disturbs the mating of the birds. Okay?
Distrae que se apareen las aves.
All right. But I think that is along with the people of Israel returning back to this land. That's a sign from God. It was definitely prophesied. And along with their return, we see God is returning nature. The land was barren.
Y esa
The lamb
tierra
was-
seca, ahora la vemos que está reverdeciendo, dando fruto y todo toma su lugar.
You remember the picture that you saw on the Canary where we stopped for the dates, and they had one tree. Remember?
Vieron en la fotografía en la tienda de especies que solamente había un árbol en el Kineret.
Many of you went to see the slides on Kibbutz Lavi last night,
Muchos de ustedes vieron también la presentación en
and it was barren.
y no había nada.
So not only as prophesied for the people of Israel, the Jewish people returning,
No solamente se ha profetizado que el pueblo judío va a regresar,
but the nature of this land is returning.
sino
The
la
forests are
naturaleza
coming back.
de la tierra está cambiando, está,
The water is coming back.
hay agua, animales,
The vultures are coming back.
buitres están regresando.
Everything is moving in a direction. By God, we don't see it on front.
El Eterno lo está haciendo él mismo.
We don't see it because it's not going to make CNN. It's not going to make Fox News.
No va a llegar a las noticias grandes, cadenas.
But God very definitely is at work. Now, do we see all of the Jews throughout the world? The French Jewish population, the South African Jewish population, the American Jewish population, and so on and so on. Do we see them? Oh, let me get my ticket to Israel. It's not happening.
Tenemos
Okay.
también comunidad judía en Inglaterra, en Francia, en todos los lugares y la gente debería estar viniendo a su tierra y vemos que no está sucediendo.
There's a famous story. I might get it wrong. But the ruins of the temple were, occurs in the 2nd century. The ruins of the temple were were very present.
Las ruinas del templo,
A group of rabbis
un grupo de rabinos
went up to Horhabayat, and among them was Rabbi Akiva.
fueron a las ruinas del templo y entre ellos estaba Rabbi Akiva.
And all his colleagues, all these other rabbis, were weeping and crying.
Y todos los rabís que están alrededor de él, sus colegas, están llorando.
And Rabbi Akiva wasn't.
Y Rabbi Akiva no lloraba.
He was smiling and he was clapping his hands.
Estaba sonriendo y aplaudiendo.
And they told him, they said, Akiva, we don't understand.
Dicen, Rabí, no entendemos.
They said, we're weeping, we're crying because our holy temple is destroyed. It's in ruins.
Lloramos porque el santo templo está destruido y en ruinas.
But Rabbi Akiva said, when I came up here, I saw a fox in the ruins.
Y el Rabbi Akiva dijo, cuando llegué aquí, vi una zorra en las ruinas.
And he said, that encourages me.
Y eso me da ánimo.
And they looked at him like he was crazy. What do you mean?
Y le dicen, ¿de qué habla, Rabí?
What does a fox have to do with anything? He says, Hashem has promised he'll return life to this place. And if I see the fox now, I know the rest is true.
Traer vida a este lugar. Y si veo
Okay?
una zorra en la
If we see the Griffon vultures,
es el inicio.
and we see maybe not all the American Jews, maybe not even a significant portion of the American Jews or the French Jews or wherever. But if we see God is doing what God is returning, the rest will come in its time.
Y vemos que aunque no muchos regresen de las naciones, están regresando poco a poco. Y aún ustedes vinieron aquí y es parte de la señal.
Okay.
Total.
As they